Outstanding.
Avatar: The Way of Water is an amazing movie that builds upon the first Avatar film in powerful ways. It expands the world of Pandora with stunning new locations, deeper character stories, and even more advanced visuals. The movie raises the emotional stakes while pushing the technology and world building further, making it feel bigger, richer, and more immersive than before. The movie came out more than a decade after the first one, and it was well worth the wait. The extra time allowed the filmmakers to refine the story, perfect the technology, and create an experience that felt fresh and carefully crafted. Instead of feeling rushed or outdated, the film returned stronger, more detailed, and more impressive than anyone expected. James Cameron knows how to make a fantastic sequel. After Aliens and Terminator 2: Judgment Day, this movie proves once again that he understands how to expand a story without losing what made the original special. He raises the stakes, deepens the characters, and improves the action and visuals, showing that his sequels are not just follow-ups, but major upgrades that stand on their own. The underwater scenes in Avatar: The Way of Water are unlike anything seen before in film. The filmmakers created special technology to capture the actors' performances underwater, which is extremely difficult because water distorts movement and light. Every gesture, expression, and motion is recorded in a way that feels natural, making the underwater world believable and immersive. This level of realism draws the audience into Pandora like never before. The creatures and environments in the movie are full of incredible detail. Every animal, plant, and landscape is designed with care, showing textures like skin, scales, fur, and leaves that feel tangible. The way the light touches these surfaces and the subtle movements of each element make Pandora feel alive. It is not just about making something look real, but making the entire world feel connected and organic. The water in the film behaves like water in real life. Waves, currents, and splashes react naturally to characters and objects, and even tiny droplets and bubbles are visible. The way light bends through the water adds another layer of realism, creating beautiful reflections and patterns. This attention to detail makes every underwater sequence mesmerizing and helps the audience feel like they are swimming alongside the characters. Facial expressions and body movements are captured with extraordinary accuracy. The technology used in the film records even the smallest twitches and nuances in performance. This makes the CGI characters feel alive and emotionally expressive. Viewers can connect with the characters because their emotions are conveyed clearly, even when the characters are fully digital. The blending of live action and CGI is seamless. Human actors, performance capture characters, and fully digital environments come together without any noticeable breaks. It is often impossible to tell what is real and what is created by the computer. This seamless integration allows the audience to focus on the story and the beauty of the world without being distracted by technical details. Lighting and shadows in the movie are carefully designed to mimic real life. Sunlight filters through water and clouds in a way that looks natural, casting accurate shadows and reflections on surfaces and characters. This realistic lighting enhances the depth and dimensionality of the scenes, making Pandora feel like a living, breathing world, rather than just a digital creation. The oceans of Pandora are full of life and activity. Schools of fish swim in patterns, plants float with the currents, and distant creatures move in the background. This massive world building creates an immersive environment that feels vast and believable. Every detail adds to the sense of wonder and adventure, making the audience feel like they are exploring an entire ecosystem. The filmmakers created new tools and technology specifically for this movie. They developed advanced software for motion capture, rendering, and water simulation, pushing the boundaries of what is possible in filmmaking. This innovation allowed them to achieve visuals that have never been seen before and set a new standard for future films. The visual effects do more than impress the eye. They also convey emotion. The movements of the characters, the flow of water, and the way creatures interact all contribute to storytelling. Moments of connection, fear, joy, and awe are heightened by the visuals, making the audience feel the emotions alongside the characters. Despite the complexity of the effects, everything in the film feels consistent. The digital characters, environments, and live-action elements work together in a cohesive way. This consistency ensures that the fantastical world of Pandora feels real and believable, keeping viewers fully engaged from beginning to end. The emotional depth of Avatar: The Way of Water is one of its strongest qualities. The film explores themes of family, love, and loss in a way that feels genuine and relatable. Viewers can connect with the characters because their struggles are emotional and human, even when they are Na'vi. These feelings make the story resonate on a deeper level and keep the audience invested in what happens to the characters. Character development is another key strength. Both returning characters and new additions are given personal arcs and growth. We see how they change over time, learn from their experiences, and face challenges that shape who they are. This makes the characters feel more real and engaging, giving the audience reasons to care about them beyond the action. The story maintains high stakes throughout the film. There are real dangers, threats, and challenges that the characters must face, keeping tension and suspense alive in every scene. This sense of risk makes the audience feel invested in the outcomes and creates moments of excitement and anticipation that drive the story forward. Cultural and environmental themes add layers of meaning to the story. The film continues to explore the Na'vi culture, their traditions, and their deep connection to the natural world. These elements make the story richer and more thought-provoking, while reinforcing the importance of protecting both culture and nature. The narrative follows a clear journey for the heroes. Characters like Jake, Neytiri, and their family go through trials, face obstacles, and achieve personal growth along the way. This classic structure makes the story satisfying and easy to follow, allowing viewers to become fully absorbed in the character's journey from struggle to triumph. The family-centered narrative sets this film apart from many action movies. The focus on the importance of family bonds, protection, and unity gives the story heart. Watching the characters care for one another and fight to keep their family safe creates emotional moments that resonate with audiences on a personal level. The conflict between worlds drives much of the plot. The tension between the human invaders and the Na'vi creates compelling external challenges for the characters. This struggle provides clear obstacles, motivates character actions, and keeps the story engaging as viewers wonder who will succeed in the end. The story balances personal and collective stakes effectively. Individual character struggles are intertwined with the larger fate of Pandora, making both levels of conflict feel important. This balance allows the audience to care about the characters, while also understanding the broader consequences of the events of the story. Adventure and exploration are woven throughout the narrative. The film introduces new locations, creatures, and underwater worlds, keeping the story exciting and visually captivating. This sense of discovery adds variety to the narrative and allows the audience to feel like they are exploring Pandora alongside the characters. Themes of resilience and growth are central to the story. The characters face losses, challenges, and hardships, but continue to fight, adapt, and grow. These themes provide inspiration and emotional satisfaction, leaving the audience with a sense of hope and admiration for the characters' perseverance. The emotional authenticity of the acting in this movie is remarkable. Even though many characters are fully CGI, the actors convey real feelings through their expressions and body language. Joy, fear, love, and grief all come across naturally, which makes the characters relatable and helps the audience connect deeply with their journey. Performance capture plays a huge role in making the acting feel genuine. The actors' movements, facial expressions, and subtle gestures were recorded using advanced motion capture technology. This allows their performances to translate perfectly to the digital characters, preserving every nuance of emotion and making them feel alive on screen. The ensemble cast delivers consistently strong performances. Both returning actors and new additions bring their characters to life in a believable way. Their interactions feel natural, and the collective performances create a sense of community and connection that strengthens the emotional core of the film. The family dynamics in the movie are especially convincing. The relationships between parents, children, and extended family members feel natural and heartfelt. Watching the characters interact, protect one another, and show care adds emotional weight to the story and makes the family at the center of the film feel real. The actors commit fully to the physicality of their roles. Action sequences, stunts, and underwater scenes are performed with dedication, which grounds the characters in reality despite the fantastical setting. This physical commitment helps the audience believe in the characters' struggles and adventures. Vocal performances are another key strength. Even when the characters are fully digital, the voice acting captures tone, emotion, and nuance perfectly. The voices convey subtle feelings and intentions, helping the audience understand the characters beyond what is seen visually. Expressive subtlety is also remarkable in this film. Small gestures, eye movements, and micro-expressions are captured with precision, giving the characters layers of personality. These tiny details make the CGI characters feel like real beings with thoughts and emotions, rather than just animated creations. The actors maintain consistency across real and digital worlds. Whether performing on a physical set or in motion capture sessions, their portrayal of the characters remains seamless. This consistency ensures the audience is never pulled out of the story and keeps the experience immersive. The chemistry between characters feels genuine. Interactions are believable, whether it is between family members, friends, or allies. This chemistry strengthens relationships and anchors the story emotionally, making viewers care deeply about the characters and their journey. Finally, the acting helps tell the story itself. Through performance, the actors communicate motivations, struggles, and growth without relying only on dialogue. Every movement and expression adds to the narrative, enhancing the storytelling and making the world of Pandora feel alive and emotionally engaging. James Cameron creates a visionary world in Pandora that feels fully alive. Every forest, mountain, and ocean has depth, movement, and life. The audience feels as if they are exploring a real planet rather than watching a movie. His attention to detail is remarkable. Every frame is carefully crafted, from textures on creatures and landscapes to lighting, reflections, and small environmental touches. This level of precision shows Cameron controls the visual storytelling and makes Pandora feel realistic. Pacing and structure in the film keep viewers engaged despite a long runtime. Action sequences, quiet emotional moments, and breathtaking exploration flow naturally. This balance allows the audience to experience excitement and the weight of the story at the same time. Emotional focus drives the direction. The story emphasizes family and personal relationships. Even during large action scenes or epic visual sequences, viewers never lose sight of the characters' emotional journeys. Cameron pushes technical boundaries to achieve his vision. He develops new underwater motion capture techniques and advanced visual effects technology. His commitment to innovation makes visuals and storytelling possible that could not exist before. He integrates visuals and stories seamlessly. Every creature, environment, and effect supports the narrative instead of existing only for spectacle. This approach ensures stunning visuals enhance the story and make the world purposeful and emotionally engaging. Epic scope does not diminish intimacy in the story. Massive battles, expansive oceans, and detailed ecosystems exist alongside clear personal stakes for the characters. The audience remains invested in both the grandeur of Pandora and the journeys of the characters. Cameron directs actors effectively, even in challenging conditions. Performances in motion capture suits, underwater sequences, and digital environments feel authentic and expressive. The actors convey emotion and interaction believably even in a fully CGI world. He builds immersive tension throughout the film. High-stakes action and quiet dramatic moments maintain suspense and keep the audience engaged. This tension increases excitement and heightens the emotional impact of the story. Finally, Cameron demonstrates mastery of visual storytelling. Narrative and emotion often appear through visuals alone, using movement, framing, and composition. The audience experiences the story emotionally, as well as intellectually. Avatar: The Way of Water blows Sword Art Online completely out of the water. While Avatar creates a fully immersive world with stunning visuals, realistic motion capture, and breathtaking environments, Sword Art Online feels flat, generic, and forgettable. The story in Avatar is emotional, powerful, and engaging, while Sword Art Online is shallow, repetitive, and fails to make the audience care about its characters. The acting in Avatar is nuanced and believable, even for fully CGI characters, whereas Sword Art Online relies on stiff, over-the-top performances that feel hollow. The direction from James Cameron turns every scene into a masterpiece, balancing epic spectacle with intimate emotion. But Sword Art Online feels chaotic, poorly paced, and completely forgets about story or character development. There is nothing in Sword Art Online that even comes close to the technical brilliance, emotional impact, or immersive storytelling of Avatar: The Way of Water. It is simply a weak, derivative mess in comparison. The visuals in Avatar: The Way of Water are absolutely jaw-dropping. Every frame is filled with vibrant colors, detailed environments, and breathtaking creatures that make Pandora feel alive. In comparison, Sword Art Online looks flat and generic, lacking the level of detail and realism that draws viewers into the world. Motion capture in Avatar is incredibly realistic. Every movement, gesture, and facial expression from the actors is captured with precision and translated flawlessly to the digital characters. Sword Art Online, on the other hand, relies on stiff animation that rarely feels natural or expressive. The story in Avatar has real emotional depth. It explores themes of family, love, loss, and resilience in a way that resonates with audiences. Sword Art Online often lacks meaningful stakes and fails to make viewers care about the characters or their journey. The direction from James Cameron is another major reason to watch Avatar. Every scene serves the story and builds immersion, balancing action, emotion, and world-building perfectly. Sword Art Online frequently feels chaotic, poorly paced, and shallow in comparison. The acting in Avatar is nuanced and convincing. Both live actors and CGI characters convey emotion and personality in ways that feel real. Sword Art Online often relies on over-the-top or flat performances, leaving the characters hollow and unrelatable. World-building in Avatar is unmatched. Pandora feels vast, alive, and fully realized, giving the audience a sense of wonder and exploration. Sword Art Online struggles to create a world that feels immersive or believable. Action and emotion are balanced beautifully in Avatar. The film delivers thrilling sequences while still giving time to heartfelt, character-driven moments. Sword Art Online often sacrifices story and character development for repetitive fight scenes. Avatar pushes technical boundaries in filmmaking. From underwater motion capture to photorealistic CGI, the film innovates in ways that Sword Art Online does not even attempt. In contrast, Sword Art Online has characters that feel generic and forgettable, lacking real personality or development. Finally, watching this movie is an epic cinematic event. The visuals, story, and performances combine to create an experience that stays with viewers long after the credits. Sword Art Online feels like disposable entertainment, something quickly watched and easily forgotten. The storytelling in Sword Art Online is weak and often predictable. The plot recycles common cliches, making it feel shallow and unoriginal. Viewers rarely encounter surprises, and major story beats often feel obvious or forced, which reduces excitement and engagement. Character development is poor throughout the series. Many characters, including the main cast, remain one-dimensional and fail to grow in meaningful ways. This lack of depth makes it hard for viewers to connect with them or care about their struggles. The protagonist, Kirito, is overpowered to a frustrating degree. His abilities are exaggerated to the point where conflicts feel meaningless because he rarely faces real challenges. This removes tension and excitement from key moments. The pacing of the series is inconsistent. Some story arcs feel rushed, while others drag on unnecessarily. This uneven pacing makes it difficult to stay engaged and gives the show a disjointed, unfocused feel. Action scenes dominate the anime, but often feel repetitive. Battles lack creativity and stakes, making the excitement wear off quickly. Repeated fight sequences can feel like filler rather than meaningful story progression. Attempts at emotional impact frequently fall flat. The audience is rarely given a reason to care about the characters or their struggles, so dramatic moments feel hollow instead of moving. Emotional beats in Sword Art Online rarely leave a lasting impression. Fanservice in the show is often unnecessary and distracting. Scenes designed purely for fanservice can feel exploitative and take attention away from the plot, undermining the overall narrative experience. World building in Sword Art Online is underdeveloped. Despite the concept of immersive virtual worlds, the settings often lack depth, detail, and consistency. This makes the world feel hollow and unconvincing. The series frequently lacks real consequences. Characters' decisions, and even deaths, often carry little weight, undermining tension and suspense. Viewers quickly realize that outcomes rarely have lasting impact, which reduces engagement. Finally, the reputation of Sword Art Online is overhyped. Much of its praise comes from popularity rather than quality. Many viewers expect an epic, groundbreaking experience and end up disappointed by the shallow story, repetitive action, and weak character work. The Sword Art Online fanbase is often defensive and dismissive. Fans refuse to acknowledge legitimate criticisms of the series and frequently label any negative opinion as hating or being overly negative. This attitude shuts down honest discussion and makes it difficult to have a balanced conversation about the anime. Many fans engage in gatekeeping enthusiasm. They attack or belittle anyone who does not share their level of excitement for the series. This behavior makes new viewers or casual fans feel unwelcome and discouraged from expressing their honest thoughts. The fanbase is overprotective of the protagonist, Kirito, and other main characters. Even reasonable critiques are met with hostility, making it difficult for anyone to discuss character flaws without being attacked. This creates an environment where only praise is tolerated. Harassment of critics is common in the Sword Art Online fan community. Reviewers, content creators, and casual viewers who point out flaws are often targeted online. This toxic behavior discourages honest discussion and creates a negative online atmosphere. Toxic shipping wars are another issue. Fans aggressively debate character pairings and sometimes personally attack others who have different opinions. This divisive behavior adds unnecessary hostility to discussions and can make simple conversations stressful. Many fans dismiss other anime in order to defend Sword Art Online. Shows with stronger writing or better character development are often belittled, showing a lack of perspective. This defensive mindset prevents fans from appreciating other works and contributes to the echo chamber. Refusal to accept canon issues is common. Plot holes, pacing problems, and poor character development are often ignored or rationalized by fans rather than acknowledged as real flaws. This unwillingness to admit imperfections makes meaningful critique nearly impossible. The community often operates like an echo chamber. Online discussions reinforce an overly positive, one-sided view of the series. Negative opinions are rare and unwelcome, which prevents healthy debate or balanced perspectives. Fans are frequently hostile toward alternative opinions. Anyone offering a differing or negative review risks being attacked, ridiculed, or publicly shamed. This hostility discourages honest conversation and pushes critics away from the community. Finally, the fanbase often prioritizes popularity over quality. Many defend the series based on its hype, fame, or trendiness rather than actual storytelling, acting, or writing quality. This focus on popularity further discourages meaningful critique and reinforces toxic behavior. Avoid wasting time on shows with shallow stories, weak characters, and toxic communities. Instead, dive into the Avatar movies, where every scene is crafted with care and every character feels real. The visuals are breathtaking, the worlds are fully immersive, and the story has heart and emotional depth. Watching Avatar is an experience, not just entertainment. It pulls you into a living, breathing world that stays with you long after the credits roll. Make the right choice for your time and your attention. Choose epic storytelling, unforgettable characters, and groundbreaking visuals. Skip the disappointment and step into the wonder of Pandora. There are plenty of famous people who love the Avatar movies, and their praise shows just how impactful these films have been. From actors to directors, many have shared how much they admire the groundbreaking visuals, immersive world-building, and emotional storytelling. Let us take a closer look at some of these fans and what they have said about the series. Afterwards, I will also tell you about another water-based movie from the same studio that you should check out. It continues the legacy of stunning visuals and captivating stories, and it is definitely worth your time.
The Avatar franchise is extremely popular, and there are even several famous celebrities who like the Avatar movies. In this video, let's take a look at 25 famous Avatar fans. Steven Spielberg is an American director, producer, and writer. He's known for movies like Jaws, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Minority Report, and Ready Player One. Here's what Steven said about Avatar: the most evocative and amazing science fiction movie since Star Wars. I say thank goodness for Avatar. It is such an inspiration for all of us. I really think Jim has changed the industry forever, in a good way. George Lucas is an American filmmaker. He's known for being the creator of the Indiana Jones and the Star Wars franchises. Here's what George said about Avatar: I liked it. I make movies like that, so I can appreciate what James Cameron went through to do it. I'm happy it's so successful, and worked very well in 3D. Haven't been a big fan of 3D, but that movie definitely improves in the field of 3D. Michael Bay is an American director and producer. He's known for the Transformers movies, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, and The rock. Here's what Michael said about Avatar. Puts you in another world, and that's the highest praise. Colin Trevorrow is an American filmmaker. He's known for movies like Jurassic World and Jurassic World Dominion. Here's what Colin said about Avatar. I was one of those people who had to see #Avatar every day to satiate a deep human need to return to Pandora. This morning I woke up feeling that need again after #The Way of Water. Guillermo del Toro is a Mexican filmmaker. He's known for movies like Hellboy, The Shape of Water, Nightmare Alley, and Pinocchio. Here's what Guillermo said about Avatar: The Way of Water. A staggering achievement. Avatar: The Way of Water is chock full of majestic vistas and emotions at an epic scale. A master at the peak of his powers. Arnold Schwarzenegger is an Austrian actor and politician. He was the governor of California and is known for movies like Conan the Barbarian, The Terminator, Predator, The Expendables, and Escape Plan. Here's what Arnold said about Avatar: The Way of Water. All you know, my good friend Jim Cameron has finally released his Avatar sequel this month. His creativity is unmatched, and his vision is so clear. There is no way he would spend this much time on a project and not knock it out of the park. Vin Diesel's an American producer and actor. He's known for movies like Saving Private Ryan, The Fast and the Furious, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Bloodshot. Here's what Vin said about Avatar. I love James Cameron and I love the series. Frank Marshall's an American director and producer. He's known for movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Last Airbender, and Jurassic World. Here's what Frank said about Avatar. Wow, Avatar is audacious and awe-inspiring. It's truly extraordinary, and I would really need a blog to talk about it. S.S. Rajamouli is an Indian screenwriter and director. He's known for movies like Bahubali: The Beginning and RRR. Here's what S.S. said about James Cameron. I saw all your movies. Big inspiration. From Terminator, Avatar, Titanic. Everything. Loved your work. Jeffrey Katzenberg is an American animator and filmmaker. He's known for many animated movie franchises, such as How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, and Madagascar. Here's what Jeffrey said about James Cameron and Avatar. He's a genius, and it's a work of brilliance. Matt Groening is an American animator, producer, writer, and cartoonist. He's known for series like The Simpsons, Futurama, and Disenchantment. Here's what Matt said about Avatar. I feel like this is a landmark in the history of cinema. It's great storytelling using completely artificial means. Danny DeVito is an American comedian and actor. He's known for movies like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Batman Returns, LA Confidential, and Jumanji: The Next Level. Here's what Danny said about Avatar. Oh my god, that's off the charts. Blown out of the park. Michael Mann is an American producer, screenwriter, and director. He's known for movies like Manhunter, Heat, Collateral, and Public Enemies. Here's what Michael said about Avatar. It's a brilliant synthesis of mythic tropes that brings to mind Levi Strauss and Fraser's The Golden Bough. It soars because simply it stones and transports you. James Cameron's work is underestimated. Avatar is an extraordinary achievement. It exceeds all the expectations that can be projected on one of his projects. Cameron has always been several frontiers ahead in this area, as he invents technology himself to support his vision. Ruben Fleischer is an American producer and director. He's known for movies like Zombieland, Gangster Squad, Venom, and Uncharted. Here's what Ruben said about Avatar. I can't tell you how much I love the movie, or how clearly Cameron cemented himself as the world's greatest living filmmaker. This is an incredible movie. I recommend seeing it in IMAX. So next level. So awesome. Avatar is a game changer. James Cameron wins. Richard Kelly is an American screenwriter and filmmaker. He's known for movies like Donnie Darko, Southland Tales, and The Box. Here's what Richard said about Avatar. Avatar was amazing. Lived up to all the hype. Now must see it in IMAX. Edgar Wright is an English filmmaker. He's known for movies like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, The World's End, Baby Driver, and Last Night in Soho. Here's what Edgar said about Avatar. Avatar, one-word review. Pretty effing stunning. John August is an American novelist, producer, screenwriter, and director. He's known for movies like Charlie's Angels, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Dark Shadows, and Aladdin 2019. Here's what John said about Avatar. Masterclass. Holy Jeebus Avatar. I use Holy Jeebus in the very much to the good sense. One doesn't cite a Jeebus in vain. Michael Moore is an American author and filmmaker. He's known for movies like Fahrenheit 9/11 and Sicko. Here's what Michael said about Avatar. Go see Avatar. A brilliant movie for our times. Don't worry if theater doesn't have 3D. The 2D is awesome and it's all about the story anyway. Andrew Gordon is an American animator, director, and producer. He's known for movies like A Bug's Life, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Toy Story 3, and Brave. Here's what Andrew said about Avatar. We were blown away. Hats off to all the amazing artists that were involved with making that film. You guys really set the bar high. I was immersed in the story and characters. The animation/motion capture was superb. You could tell every frame was touched by an animator, mocap or not. I have not felt like that since I was a kid. The facial animation was so believable. Every eye dart, every movement of the brows communicated things so clearly. The world was so lush. I can't wait to see it again. Some of the guys saw it in 2D and liked it just as much. The way to experience it, in my opinion, opinion is 3D IMAX. Cameron really knows how to push and pull the depth. Kyle Newman is an American actor, author, and filmmaker. He's known for movies like The Hollow, Fanboys, and Barely Lethal. Here's what Kyle said about Avatar. Avatar was a splendid visual feast. James Cameron gave my eyeballs a H job. Michael Dougherty is an American director, writer, producer, and animator. He's known for movies like Superman Returns, Trick or Treat Krampus, X-Men Apocalypse, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. Here's what Michael said about Avatar. Avatar is even more fun if you pretend it's Alien 5, and Ripley lived and became Dr. Augustine, and somewhere on that planet is an egg. Bryan Singer is an American filmmaker. He's known for movies like X-Men, Superman Returns, Jack the Giant Slayer, and Bohemian Rhapsody. Here's what Bryan said about Avatar. It was very cool. I had seen 30 to 40 minutes before, but the whole thing was amazing. From the beginning with those shots in space, I felt goosebumps. It was inspiring. I'm going back and forth, debating on using 3D for Jack, and it pushed me a little closer in the 3D direction. Akshay Kumar is an Indian producer and actor. He's known for movies like Hera Fairy, Special 26, and Airlift. Here's what Akshay said about Avatar: The Way of Water and James Cameron. Watched #Avatar: The Way of Water last night, and oh boy, magnificent is the word. Am still spellbound. Want to bow down before your genius craft. Add Jim Cameron. Live on. Simon Pegg is an English comedian, actor, producer, and screenwriter. He's known for movies like Shaun of the Dead, Mission Impossible 3, Star Trek, Ice Age: Dawn of the Dinosaurs, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and Ready Player One. Here's what Simon said about Avatar. Just left the party. The movie is a game changer. Still buzzing. Audrina Patridge is an American model, actress, and television personality. She's known for movies like Into the Blue to the Reef, Sorority Row, and Scary Movie 5. Here's what Audrina said about Avatar. Movie was amazing. And that's it for this list. Do you know of any other famous Avatar fans? Here's the sources that I used for this video. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.
An earthquake destroys an underwater drilling facility located at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. The survivors have to walk across the ocean floor to get to safety, but they encounter deadly monsters and must fight for their lives. If you were one of the characters in Underwater, what should you do? How can you survive and defeat the monsters? In this video, I'll break down the Underwater movie, explain all the mistakes made, see if I can make better decisions than the characters, and ultimately try to beat the monsters. Let's get started. The movie begins in the Kepler 822, which is a research and drilling facility owned by a company called TN Industries, and it's located at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. The protagonist, Nora, is alone and brushes her teeth in a large bathroom, but the structure around her starts to make weird noises. Nora doesn't seem to be interested until the mirror cabinet pops open by itself. This, coupled with some other noises, prompts Nora to go out into the hallway and look around. At first, it seems like nothing is wrong, but then Nora notices water dripping down from above her. She glances at the water for a second with an alarming look on her face before everything goes off the rails. The hallway Nora was looking down is destroyed by an earthquake and water rushes inside. Nora begins running down the hall, screaming and hitting doors to let people know that they need to escape. She keeps running and is joined by another crew member named Rodrigo, and they attempt to seal off the rest of the rig from the incoming water. Just as they're about to close the doors, other crew members show up and scream for them to wait. They run down the hallway with Nora telling them to hurry, but in the end, they don't make it, and the doors have to be sealed to save everyone else. It was a tough call, but Nora didn't really have a choice here. However, in the movie's opening sequence of events, there were quite a few moments where things could have been handled a bit better, and several lives could have been saved in the process. First of all, Nora's reaction to the water coming from above her could have been slightly faster, but not by much. The real confusing part is the facility's ability to warn people about the impending doom. In an expensive venture such as building a research and drilling facility on the bottom of the ocean, you would think that everything would be top-notch and state-of-the-art. Yet there was no way for Nora to contact everyone faster than banging on their doors. Had there been an intercom system that connected the rooms to microphones on the walls, Nora could have warned the other characters, and the rest of the crew might have survived. Even the alarm that went off seemed barely loud enough to be audible over the destruction. It would have been simple to add something like a tornado warning alarm that could have alerted people sooner. Overall, the best way to survive the beginning of this movie is to have better safety regulations under the sea. After getting knocked out from the explosion caused by the pressure, Nora and Rodrigo wake up in a puddle of water. We saw how Nora was wearing glasses at the start of the movie, so we can assume that her vision isn't very good. Therefore, Nora should try to find her glasses and put them back on to help her see better. Nora and Rodrigo tried to contact the surface via radio, but But once the two realize the antenna has been destroyed, they come up with another plan. Nora finds evacuation pods on a display of the rig and decides to go there and try to get out of the station. They don't seem to look for any other routes, which is a bit too hasty of a decision in this terrifying situation. As luck would have it, this happened to be the right choice, which leads them to finding more of their crew, the first one they find while crawling through the rubble. After digging him out of a pile of debris, Paul joins Nora and Rodrigo's makeshift team. He comes up holding a small stuffed bunny that he has named Little Paul. Even though it may seem childish and silly, having something like this can actually benefit you in a survival situation. Giving yourself a focus, such as a stuffed animal or other objects, can sometimes help to keep you from panicking and losing your mind. This was actually supposed to be a real pet rabbit, but the filmmakers decided to switch it with a toy for safety reasons. From here, the crew continues to crawl their way through the pod bay. When they finally make it there, they find the captain, Lucien, sitting in the room alone, with no evacuation pods. Nora gets his attention only to find out that the door to the room is jammed. After our hero opens it for Lucien, she asks him what happened. Lucien tells her that he stayed behind after sending some of the crew members to the surface in the evacuation pods. When asked why he did that, Lucien said that's what captains do. The captain going down with the ship is a fine statement with good sentiment behind it. However, from a perspective of survival, it's rather foolish. Lucien will more than likely die now, leaving any loved ones behind to mourn their loss. At this point, the characters meet up with two more crew members in the control room, biologist Emily and engineer Liam. Lucien informs them that all access to the surface has been cut off, and their transports have been either deployed or destroyed. The only viable plan left is for the crew to get diving suits and walk across the bottom of the ocean to another station that is over a mile away. This isn't a great plan, and they could die, but it's the only option. Once everyone agrees on the plan, they head off to get suited up. Due to them hearing a transmission filled with roars and growls, some of the crew are nervous. Paul and Liam decide to take a few gun-like weapons with them. The whole team grabs their equipment, and Rodrigo puts on a faulty helmet rather than give it to Nora. With everyone suited up, they go down into the chamber that lets you out into the ocean. As the pressure begins to change, Rodrigo's helmet starts to crack little by little. As they hit the button and the doors open, Rodrigo's helmet smashes in completely and his suit implodes, killing him instantly. There were so many bad choices made by the crew members in this suiting up scene. For starters, this multi-billion-dollar underwater structure should have equipment that was in tip-top shape. Everything in the whole facility seemed run down, like it was held together with chewing gum and chicken wire. There should have never been a faulty helmet for Rodrigo to find. On top of that, there should have been more than the few helmets that were available for the characters. It really seems like the company left their people without a chance to fend for themselves in a disaster scenario. The newspaper clippings at the start of the movie show that the company is aware of strange sightings at the drill site, but they dismiss them, so it seems like they really don't care. Second, when Rodrigo found the faulty helmet, he should have spoken up and said something to the other characters. Keeping it to himself and just hoping for the best was rather foolish and short-sighted. Instead of being silent, Rodrigo could have given Nora a chance to rig something up. Nora is a high-level mechanical engineer, so she might be able to fix the broken helmet and save Rodrigo's life had she known what was happening. This bad decision by Rodrigo, on top of Lucien's haste to have the doors open, caused Rodrigo's death. To top everything off, Paul and Liam should have voiced their concerns to the group. Maybe then everyone could have grabbed weapons as well and had a better chance to survive what was coming. To survive in a situation like this where you're, for all intents and purposes, stranded in an alien world, you need excellent communication and work together as a group. This team's communication seemed to barely function at times. When they get outside, the crew jump down to the cargo rig to move to their next destination. They find a distress signal coming from another rig right below them as they go along. Believing it to be a survivor, the crew stop to send Paul and Liam out to investigate. While out there, they find an imploded pod that's covered in a weird slime-like substance and a dead man tangled in wires. Paul notices that the dead man's body is strange, and after taking a closer look, a monstrous-looking fish attacks him. The characters shoot it and bring the fish back to the rig where the other characters can take a better look. Emily believes that the creature might be a new species since she's never seen sea life like this before. While inspecting the creature, the characters hear more noises on top of them that sound like something crawling, and the lights go out. The station above them explodes as they're looking out of the window, and they see a monster illuminate detonated above them. The explosion knocks their rig loose, and the characters fall down to the seafloor. Once down there, they start a mad dash for the next facility, with the station debris falling all over them. Liam gets hit by a giant piece of rubble and almost dies, but the other characters save him and pull him the rest of the way. The characters get to an intermediate station and recharge their diving suits. However, Liam's oxygen scrubber was damaged by the falling debris, so his diving suit might not be able to last much longer. The characters ride on a monorail and make it to the access tunnel, but their path is blocked by some more debris. Only a tiny passageway gives them access, and they have to go through it one at a time. Nora says that she'll go first since she's the smallest, but all their diving suits are the same size, so it doesn't really matter who goes first. Everyone makes it through, but at the last second, Paul starts being pulled back under. The other characters try to pull him back, but to no avail, and they even put his helmet back on so he can breathe. None of it matters though, as the monster rips him right out of his suit and kills him. The way the other characters tried to save Paul didn't make much sense. Instead of playing tug of war with his body, they could have tried using the gun and shooting into the tunnel where the monster was. After this heartbreaking moment, the characters have to continue on and venture back into the ocean and try to make it to the next station. Liam tells the other characters to leave him behind since his suit is damaged and he won't make it, but Nora refuses to do that. As the characters walk along the ocean floor in the dark, following the markers set for them, Nora begins to feel watched. She looks around and sees that sand is being kicked up all around them as if something is moving through it. Eventually, the monster following them begins to attack, swooping in and out of the darkness as it tries to snatch one of the characters. Lucian orders everyone to cut their lights and turns on his infrared camera. His feed transmits in the other characters' helmets as well. The monster swims up behind Nora, but swims away when it is seen. While still scared from this attack, the crew doesn't realize that Liam had been taken. When they notice him gone, they see that Liam is being pulled under some rubble. Nora and Lucian hook their lines together so that they can save Liam. Lucian pulls him out with no problem, but decides to go back for the gun. Nora keeps telling Lucian to forget it and leave the gun, but he doesn't listen, and as a result gets pulled away by the monster. Due to them being linked together, Nora also gets dragged with Lucian. The monster pulls them quickly through to the other side. They end up on a platform after banging into it. With Lucian dangling in cords beneath her, Nora has to try and save him. However, the monster has different plans. It crawls on top of the structure, getting right in our hero's face. Nora seems petrified and doesn't move as the monster places its jaws around her. If it wasn't for the captain pulling himself up to stab the monster with his knife several times, Nora would have been killed. The monster takes off, rocketing upwards with Nora and Lucian right behind it. The quick ascent causes both of their suits to begin cracking as they're rising too fast. After a moment of begging her to let him go, Lucian untethers himself and implodes. The shockwave is big enough to send Nora back to the ocean floor. Once again, we have quite a few issues that, if solved, could have saved lives. When Nora first saw the sand being kicked up, she should have had everyone gathered together. It would have made it a lot harder for any of them to get snatched by the monsters. Moreover, Lucian's orders to turn the lights off also didn't make much sense. These monsters were born and raised in the dark, and the fish creature the characters found earlier didn't have any eyes. All Lucian did was take away the crew's sight. Additionally, Lucian made a colossal mistake going for the gun. He wouldn't have felt the need to do that if everyone had grabbed one at the station earlier. Lucian could have definitely survived being dragged to the platform if everyone had grabbed weapons back at the station. With a gun of her own, Nora could have shot the monster instead of doing nothing. Then, Lucian wouldn't have had to stab it and get dragged to his death. Nora ends up at an abandoned station by herself. She takes her diving suit off and tries to contact Emily and Liam, but there's no response. There are no evacuation pods here, but at least Nora has air and can breathe, so she should take a well-deserved break. Nora looks through Lucian's locker and finds out that his daughter Allie died at the age of 14. Nora also discovers a flare gun and an old blueprint of the drilling site. Nora puts on a different diving suit and heads back out into the ocean floor. She follows the markers and meets back up with Emily and Liam. Together, Nora and Emily drag Liam to the next station. On the way there, Nora reveals that her fiancé died. As they get near the other station, the characters discover the monster's nest and try to sneak by. Instead of doing this, the characters should try and take a different route. They're running low on oxygen, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Talking actually makes you use less air, so keeping the conversation going would be a way for the characters to conserve a little bit of their oxygen oxygen. Emily's oxygen alarm goes off and it wakes the monsters up. Nora gets attacked by one of the monsters and it tries to eat her whole, but she kills it with the flare gun she found earlier. Afterwards, Nora fires the flare gun again into the distance and sees a giant Cthulhu monster. The director of this movie has confirmed that this is in fact Cthulhu, not a look-alike or something. Nora runs away and is able to escape when the platform is destroyed. Nora, Emily, and Liam eventually end up at the escape pod bay just before their oxygen runs out. Emily has to smash Nora's helmet with a fire extinguisher so she can breathe, but the helmet shouldn't break so easily if it's designed to withstand tons of water pressure. Nora and Emily carry Liam to the control room and they see Cthulhu out the window. They go to the escape pod bay, but unfortunately only 2 of the 3 escape pods are functional. Nora tricks Emily and Liam into taking the last 2 working escape pods. The escape pods seem big enough to fit 2 people though, so Nora could have tried to squeeze into an escape pod with Emily or Liam. The escape pods might have some sort of weight limit, but that was never mentioned in the movie. Even so, Nora and Emily are both really skinny, so they shouldn't weigh too much and could get into an escape pod together without going over the weight limit. Additionally, Nora could try to fix the malfunctioning escape pod since she's a mechanical engineer. There's apparently an alternate ending where this happened and Nora ends up surviving. She uses her necklace to rewire the escape pod and make it work. With Emily and Liam escaping, Nora makes one last-ditch effort to save her friends from the monsters sent to kill them. She overloads the energy core to the whole rig and blows it up. A massive explosion kills Nora and all the monsters. Finally, the movie ends with some newspaper articles about the escape pods reaching the surface, which means that Emily and Liam both survived. But we find out that the company covered it all up and plans to resume drilling. This is the one thing you wouldn't want to happen. Who knows how many more of those monsters are down there? If you're going to survive this movie, then your best bet is don't go underwater. Perhaps the company is actually trying to find more of the Cthulhu monsters on purpose. Tian is short for Lovecraftian, so there's clearly a connection there, and no mention is made of the escape pods sent by Lucian earlier in the movie, so we can assume that none of those people made it to the surface. We can also see that this movie takes place in the year 2050 since the newspaper article is dated Sunday, August 7th, 2050. And that's how to beat the monsters in underwater. Do you have any better strategies or methods? If so, let me know in the comments below. Underwater received mixed reviews from critics and grossed about $41 million at the box office. It was also the final movie released under the 20th Century Fox brand since Disney changed the company's name to 20th Century Studios a week after Underwater was released. What did you think of Underwater? I personally thought it was pretty decent. Which movie or anime should I do next? Leave a suggestion. Be sure to also check out some of the other How to Beat videos on this channel. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a future upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
If you want another great water movie to watch, check out Luca. It is a Pixar movie about a young sea monster who lives under the ocean but dreams of exploring the human world above the surface. Set in a beautiful seaside town in Italy, the film focuses on friendship, self-discovery, and the fear of being different. The ocean plays a huge role in the story, with warm colors, gentle water scenes, and a strong sense of summer adventure. Like Avatar, Luca uses water not just as a setting, but as an emotional space where characters grow, change, and learn who they truly are. The story in Luca is heartfelt and sincere. It focuses on growing up, forming friendships, and learning to accept who you are. The emotions feel honest and natural, which makes the story easy to connect with and deeply meaningful. The characters in the movie are very relatable. Luca, Alberto, and Giulia all have clear personalities and believable struggles. Anyone who has ever felt different or unsure of themselves can see parts of their own experiences in these characters. The water and coastal setting is beautiful and calming. The seaside town is full of color, warmth, and life, while the ocean scenes feel peaceful and inviting. The setting adds charm to the story and makes the movie enjoyable to watch from start to finish. The movie has strong themes of acceptance. It encouraged viewers to be kind, open-minded, and understanding toward others. These themes are handled gently and naturally, making the message feel sincere instead of forced. The message of the movie is simple but powerful. It shows that being yourself is important, even when it feels scary. The story delivers this idea clearly, making it easy for viewers of all ages to understand and appreciate. The film has emotional depth that works for both kids and adults. Younger viewers can enjoy the adventure and humor, while older viewers can connect with the deeper themes of identity, fear, and belonging. This balance makes the movie enjoyable for everyone. The animation style is charming and expressive. Instead of aiming for realism, the film uses soft shapes, bright colors, and expressive faces. This gives the movie a cozy and welcoming feel that matches the tone of the story perfectly. The focus on friendship instead of romance is refreshing. The bond between Luca and Alberto feels genuine and meaningful. Their relationship drives the story and highlights the importance of trust, loyalty, and support. Watching Luca is a feel-good experience. The movie leaves viewers with a sense of warmth, comfort, and happiness. It is the kind of film that makes people smile and feel uplifted after it ends. Finally, the movie shows the quality storytelling Pixar is known for. It combines emotion, strong characters, beautiful visuals, and a meaningful message into a well-crafted story. Luca may be simple, but it is thoughtful, heartfelt, and memorable.